Hello scholars, again this is a second video in a video series of finding missing angles. In the first video we just went over or reviewed last week's lesson, which was identifying those angle pairs. You will need the angle pairs when you are looking for a missing angle. So let's go ahead and start. So I'm going to draw my parallel lines. Let me take line A is parallel to line B, and then my transversal, we'll call a transversal C. Let me change this transversal a little bit. So a transversal will be C. All right, so remember that we said that if we knew any of the angles, any of them, that we're going to be able to say, if I knew the angle in this corner, or the one in this corner, or in this corner, or in this corner, or the one in here, or here, or here, or here, there are 8 angles here. And if I just know one of them, I can find any angle that I'm asked to find. So the question here will be to find angle X here. And I'm going to tell you that the angle here, over here, we know that this angle on this side is 110 degrees. So knowing that one angle as 110 degrees, we are asked to find angle X. So we want to first of all see if there's any relationship between these two angles. Is there any relationship? Let's go through all our angle pairs. I notice that if this X was to be here, then I'm going to have corresponding angles. So if this is X right here, then it will be corresponding because it sits in the same corner with 110. Look at how 110 is sitting underneath the parallel line, and this is also sitting underneath the parallel line. So I don't know X, but I do know the angle that is besides X, the angle that is adjacent to X, and that angle is also 110 degrees. 110 degrees because it's corresponding to the angle that we know. Once I know that, I can see that I can easily find my missing angle X. What do I notice? I notice that there's that angle X and 110 are linear pairs. They are linear pairs. What do we know about linear pairs? Yes, if you said that they are angles on a straight line, you were right. You can see that they are on a straight line. What else do we know about linear pairs? Yes, if you said that they add up to 180, so if you said 110 plus X equals 180, then you are also correct because again, they are linear pairs. So now that I know that this angle here is 110 because it's corresponding to the given angle, I can subtract 110 from 180 to get 70 degrees. So that means angle X is equal to 70 degrees. That makes a lot of sense because look up here. The angle that is right here, this angle right here, will be corresponding to X. Look at this angle here will be corresponding to X. So if it's, because look at it's right there on the bottom of the parallel line, and this X was on the bottom of the parallel line. So that means if they're corresponding, this angle here will be 70 degrees. And see that it makes sense because 70 degrees plus 110 degrees gives me 180. So just knowing that this angle will be corresponding to this angle, even though I didn't know this angle, I was able to know this angle here. And that helped me to use the fact that this 110 and X are linear pairs to find the measure of X. So do you see how just knowing one angle, you can get to any of the other angles using all the angle relationships? Here we were able to use corresponding angles. And then we went from corresponding angles to linear pairs. And that's how we found a missing angle. And we proved it by saying that if this is 70, that this one also has to be 70 because they are corresponding. And yes, is correct because they also add up to 180. So we know that we're correct. All right. I hope that this second video is helpful. And as you walk through the problems this week, that you would just remember that just knowing the angle pairs that are formed would help you get to the angle that you're looking for.